Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is the Friday challenge, kind of, sort of, not really. Each week, I do a Friday challenge where I get you to look through your long boxes and find comics that are related to a particular theme. Well, normally that is, but not this week. This week, I'm actually going to show you my top 50 list. But to start it off, I'm actually going to show you my top 10 comics that didn't make my top 50 list. These were all books that were actually on my top 50 list in 2022. And the reason I picked that year is that was when these books were at their height. They were really valuable, and actually making this list kind of made me a little sad because the prices have changed very much. Some pretty big books have really fallen. Some have actually dropped from being in my top 30 books to being now off my top 50 list. So these are my 10 that didn't make the cut this year in terms of my top 50 list. And going forth next week, I'll be showing my top 50 list. And I'll do it in parts, so kind of have it go out over a few weeks so I can really show the books and explain the books. Now, the reason I'm doing this is to give you guys a bit of a break from these top 10 whatever challenge books. So I kind of wanted to, get back to the basics of just showing some big books that are in my collection. These are all by price. And I'm going to tell you how much they're worth in 2022 and how much they are worth today. And the values will shock you. Okay, so the first book that was actually number 50 on my previous top 10 list was this book. This is Action Comics 252, first appearance of Supergirl. And this book actually was even further down, but it has actually recovered recently. But it didn't make my top 50 list this year. Now, Action 252 and a 5.0 back in, and this is restored, so I was going by restored prices, was selling for around $1,800 for a restored 5.0 back in 2022. Now it's going for around $1,600, so it's down about $200. So not as bad as some of the books you'll see on the list, on this list. This one did okay, but it's not on the list anymore. Next one, this was a little higher up on my list before. It was in the top 40. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 3. And this was, when I bought this book, I kind of paid at one of the higher ends because there was just this massive sale. It was like $180,000 for a reasonably high grade copy. And I was like, oh, I'm never going to get this book. I saw this 1.5. It was at a reasonable price. I jumped on it. Well, at the time, this book in 2022 was selling for $1,800. Now this one has not done so well since, and the last kind of fair market value for this book is around $800 in a restored 1.5. So it's gone down a lot since that time. So it's lost $1,000 in value. Pretty brutal, but that's that's life in comics. One of the sad things that does happen. This next book actually surprised me how much this one has gone down. This is Amazing Spider-Man 129, first appearance of the Punisher. Actually, I should have mentioned what the first appearances were. The other one was Dr. Octopus. So, but this one, first appearance of the Punisher, well, back in 2022, it was selling for $1,850. Now it's going for around $900. So it's really dropped, about half. But I love this book. I was super excited to get this book, and it was in a really nice grade. I actually paid $700, so I'm still up. Yeah, this book went up and then went just as fast down. So great book though. But part of the reason I'm doing this video is not just to say, oh, these books are going down and oh, the sky's falling. These are actually kind of buying opportunities because these are actually pretty cool books. And this is maybe the good time to buy because the prices are kind of down so much. Here's another cool one that I got. X-Men #2, first appearance of the Vanisher, and second appearance of the major X-Men characters. And first time you see Professor Xavier on the cover as well. Lots of cool things going for this book. Now this one is another restored book, but a high grade restored. It was going for around $1,900, even as a restored book, pretty pricey. Now it's going for around $1,500, so it's dropped a little bit. So yeah, about 20% down. This one, actually, I thought this one would hold its value a bit better. This is more of a modern book. This is Walking Dead #1 in a 9.6. So this one, first appearance of Rick Grimes, and the introduction of the whole Walking Dead series. Just a great book. Really low print run. This was like I think 7,000 was the print run. Just a really small print run. Now, this book back in 2022 was selling for $1,950. Now it's going for about $1,650. So it's down about $300. So I was kind of surprised. I thought it would hold its own a little bit better, but it didn't. So, but I paid $1,000 for it, so it's still up well beyond what I paid. Next one, I was actually really shocked because this one's a really rare book. I was surprised that this one has fallen as much as it has. This is Bone #1, and it's the first appearance of these three guys, the Bone characters, and it was going for in 2022 for around $2,050, and now it's going for around $1,400. So it's gone down a bit. I'm surprised how much, like 30%. I don't know, just didn't really perform that well. And it's such a rare book, hard one to get. So I actually saw listings higher than that on eBay for the for 8.0s. I saw it around the 2,000 mark, which was where it was at 2022. But I'm going by the last sales. Okay, next one on the list is X-Men Fantastic Four #3. This is the first time you get their costumes, where they're actually wearing their costumes. And it's a pretty major book for Fantastic Four. Also, I think it has a first appearance of the Miracle Man as well. So, very big book, just a cool one. This one didn't do so well either. What was the price? So this is a 3.0, so it sold for $2,250 back in the day. Now it's going for around $1,100. Still, I'm ahead on this one because I paid $900 for it, so I'm still ahead, which is kind of nice. But I was kind of fortunate when I bought all my Silver Age keys. I bought them around 2021 and 2020, so just before the boom. So I was kind of lucky. And then I switched over into Golden Age during the boom. So I was kind of opposite of what the market was going. So yeah, so this is, yeah, sad that it's dropped more than half of its value. Very sad. Great book. Love it though. And actually a good one to spec on because there's a Fantastic Four movie coming out soon. Next one is Hulk #2, and this is in a 1.5. It's a bit rough looking, but not too bad. This was selling for around $2,300, and this is actually the first appearance of the Green Hulk. And now this book you can get it for around $1,300, so it's down about $1,000. So like, the amount of money that I'm losing on this list is insane. But yeah, so this one down about $1,000. Pretty sad. but just a great book. So it's the first appearance of the Green Hulk. I'm reading this thing here. First appearance of the Toadmen. Oh my goodness. Second appearance of the Hulk. Second, Rick Jones, Betty Ross, and General Ross. So yeah, so just a great one. Toadmen. You got to get the book for the Toadmen. I think also their last appearance. I don't know if they made more appearances. But next one, number 4 on the list is number 4, Fantastic Four. I meant number 2 for the last 2. This one was fairly high on my list of most expensive books before, but it has really fallen. This one was worth around $2,400. Now it is worth $800. It's down like by 2/3. It's just tanked. And part of the reason for that was in 2022 you got all the spec around Namor, and it just went crazy in price and has since dropped. I think I actually paid $800 for this, so it's actually dropped back to pre-pandemic pricing. So it's pretty sad. It's a great book though. First Silver Age appearance of Namor, and also, what else is it? First Silver Age appearance of Namor the Submariner, Mr. Fantastic pinup. So just that alone to make this $1 million book. So yeah, it's really gone down. I was shocked. This one was the worst. It performed the worst, and maybe because the movie itself was pretty bad. Okay, now the last book that barely didn't make my my new top 50 list is this one, and this is Giant Size X-Men #1. And this is the first appearance of a whole bunch of characters like Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Ilyana Rasputin. Who else? Let's see. Does it say? Thunderbird. And second full appearance of Wolverine. So just a bunch of great things going for this book. However, this book has really fallen as well. Back in 2022, it was going for around $3,000. Now it's going for about $1,700. So not so good. Not so good at all. But so those are my top 10 books that didn't make my list, that were previously on my top 50 list. If you have some books that had epic drops since 2022, I'd love to see them. And if you want to show them, that'd be great. This is not a challenge, just to have fun. Show some books that have really tanked. It's always good to show, a little bit of humility in the comic thing, because we have these big books and sometimes they're not so big anymore. So those are my books. Stay tuned for the top 50 list. It's going to be a pretty great list this year. As I said, I'll do 10 books per week, and it's going to run for the next 5 weeks after this. So I hope you enjoy this. If you enjoyed, please give this some thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to the channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye for now.